A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Now, with a person with diabetes, I want to know what the heck is going on with Dr. Marc Siegel. I understand there's a new
inhaler. New inhaler for diabetes. Yeah. Dr. Siegel, tell us about this. This could be a huge breakthrough.
It's called Effexa. It's not new. It's been around for about a decade. And what is new is I think that we're finally realizing that our companies that make insulin, and John's going to appreciate this as a consummate business person, which is I put two and two together here. The companies that are making our insulin, there's only three major ones, and two of them also make weight loss drugs called Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound. And guess what they're focused on? The weight loss drugs. So this is probably making the shortages worse. We don't have enough insulin. One of the insulins called Levemir is going off the market. People have a 30 to 60-day wait for their insulin, and there's about 2 million people in the United States that would die without their daily insulin. So now University of Washington went ahead and checked the old inhaled insulin and found it works just as well. If you take one shot a day of insulin and then use this inhaler, and you're judicious and you know what you're doing, and you don't have asthma, by the way, that it can provoke, you do just as well with this. So I'm happy to talk about this because I like the idea of brushing off drugs or treatments that have been discarded. We're so quick to go to the newest and the latest and the brightest bauble that sometimes we overlook the obvious.
Well, that is wonderful news for people with diabetes. I mean, there's tens of millions of people.
There's 38 million people with diabetes, but about 5 or 6 million actually use insulin on a regular basis, and 2 million would die without it. So this is a major, major thing. Very important. Not that weight loss isn't, by the way, but it shouldn't be an either or. And of course, you know, they capped the amount of out-of-pocket expense you could pay for your insulin, but only for Medicare. That hasn't gone across the board. So people are also broke and they can't get their insulin. So that's happening also.
Anything else you want to say, Doctor? We have a minute left.
I'm also studying the debate, and I've decided that I was literally sitting on the set at Fox on Saturday night when Trump was giving that rally, and we were in stitches because of how funny he is, and he's funny and he's interactive. And he said, "Look, this is my cognitive test. This is my cognitive test." And I thought, you know, I interviewed him, and he doesn't use a teleprompter, and he doesn't have notes, and he doesn't want to see the questions. So in a way, he's right. So I'm looking from that debate to see what the interaction is. I think they should have all no holds barred. Because if you want to see who's capable of doing it on their feet, responding quickly, decisively, like you need the leader of the free world to do, I think that that's a major, major issue.
Yeah.
So
I agree. By the way, but the problem is they're not going to be able to really go after each other. They're muting the mics. So it's like, I agree with you. I agree. Dr. Siegel, I wish it was that way, too. But you can give us your professional opinion after the debates, too.
Is let's not mute the mics and let's have a bilateral cognitive test.
Yep, I agree. Before the whole country and the whole world.
Speaking of restaurants, it's a little too hot to meet John anywhere tonight. So I'll take a rain check.